Hello, we're back. How you doing tonight, everybody? Welcome
Hi.
back to the Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians, where history meets the paranormal.
You don't even need me anymore. Look at you.
Yeah, look at that.
You don't
I
even
can remember
need me.
things. I know I get my senior moments like every 5 minutes, but
That was
right now
excellent.
I remember the whole thing. That was great. Wow.
Very good.
I'm impressed. You know, I had like
Well done.
5 days to rest. I went to Pennsylvania, so I just went out there and my place out there and just relaxed. So
Good for you.
I guess maybe some of my memories coming back, but I doubt it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. You got to take a break.
So
You got to take a break.
how did you do? What, you do anything? Any investigation?
You know
I
I
know you
did.
do investigations every weekend. So anything good?
Yeah. You know I do. Whenever I can. This was really interesting. We had an investigation doing. It was the 4th of July, right? Of course.
Yeah.
And we did an investigation into cemeteries in our area that had veterans from World War II. Yeah. So we did a little bit of cleanup on their graves together in a volunteer project. And of course, we snuck in a little bit of investigation as well.
Yeah, I know you bring your little recorders and I'm cleaning this grave. Anybody here?
I feel like it's like attached to me, like it's glued to me.
You just like sew it right on your skin. That's what you should do.
Yeah, there you go. Just a little pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it was good. It was good because we got to do some good work, some good volunteer work and clean up the cemeteries a little bit. Because
that's awesome.
You'd think that they're better, maintained than they are. That's for sure.
Remember, I grew up around 9 cemeteries in Queens. I had 9 cemeteries around me, and there was quite a few veteran, some, not veteran, but there was, we have cemeteries in Glendale. I mean, from the Civil War to, now, and there's all kinds of graves and everything. And the VFW halls take care of a lot of that.
Really?
Yeah. So they take care of a lot of that, but the cemetery doesn't really much on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have a lot of Revolutionary War veterans in our cemeteries here.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool. I love seeing that little symbol. I'm like, whoa.
That's cool. Yeah. I just how I started in cemetery.
I get excited every time about that.
We got some great guests tonight, everybody.
We do.
And I'm going to have Jennie.
Episode 39, everybody. Thanks for being here. Everybody's filing in. Oh, a tattoo. There we go. Like a tattoo of a digital recorder. I like that idea. Very good.
What's up, Adam?
Very good. Thank you, Adam. What's up?
Okay.
We have some great guests tonight. And typically I just introduce them, informally and but I think in this case, I will go with what, not try to invent something and go with their actual bios on their current project. So just very quickly, we have 3 wonderful guests tonight. I know everybody's been really excited for this one. Let's begin with Daryl, who's the first person I met. Daryl Marston, I met you first.
Want me to bring him in?
Yeah.
How about we bring them all in?
Hi, Daryl. And then let's go to the brothers, Jeff and Trey Bader.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
You are second, but not least. Last but not least.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Welcome to our show.
I love the shirt, Anthony. Forget about it.
He gave me one of those, and so far we haven't worn it the same night, so that'll be fun. First night we do that. It's too hot.
Yeah, well, I'm in air conditioning. You kidding? I'm like sitting right now in like one of those freezers, meat freezer, because I got my, I got all my air conditioners going. So
it's like I feel like a poser when I wear that shirt, though. Because I'm Dutch. Like I'm like, yeah, forget about it. I can't even say it right. So forget it.
Hey, forget about it. What are you gonna do?
Forget about
it. Hey, I got the last name.
I love it.
Yeah, you got the last name. So guys, how you all doing? I know, and I've been to the place, Samuel Miller's place, and I really enjoyed it. I had the best night that night when I got to sit behind the monitor with all those screens all over. It was
Yeah,
like
man.
that was my highlight of that evening.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
so I mean, you want to give a little bit about yourself, so stuff like how you got into the paranormal and stuff like that. Everybody
we
has
always
some
start
sort
with
of
that.
story. You guys probably been telling these stories like a million times, so you could just have cue cards coming up and just telling your story now.
We're just gonna pre-record it and just play it for everybody.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah. So everybody has a
Yeah.
story.
I mean, my story has been out there for a while. You know how I got into it.
Mhm.
I've been doing it for 20 years, going on 20 years, and got into it by complete accident on a tour of Fort Delaware back in 2005. And I saw an apparition. Yeah, at that point, I really never had a paranormal experience that I actually ever remembered. I did grow up in a haunted house, but I was like 6 years old when I moved out, so I don't remember any of it. And that was like my big experience that kind of led me down the rabbit hole. And I just kept chasing it, and then led me to TV and to podcasting and to working with these guys for the last 2 years, and the book. And we're going to have some more books coming out here pretty soon in the next year or two between the three of us. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have plans to go back there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The House of Wills.
Mm-hmm.
Where it all that's the original book, The Horrors of the House of Wills, which is getting re-released late September, October this year, the second edition, and it's going to have more chapters in it, and it's going to kind of lead into My Haunted Manor USA and these guys. That's going to lead into the other books that are following this one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Very nice. You know, I love this book.
Okay,
Thank you.
next.
Got Jeff.
No, I do.
Yeah,
He calls me fangirl because I love the book.
She's a fangirl. Everybody that comes on the show, she reads their books and everything. See, if I could read, I would never become. She reads everything.
He's a good host.
Yeah, I got into this, early days as a kid. I saw a full body apparition in our house. It was a really old townhouse in Wilmington, Delaware, where we grew up, and I saw a man in the window, and he was sitting on the windowsill, and it's just it's so burned into my memory, and I've just been chasing that that feeling ever since. I'd become addicted to it, and just dove into the paranormal, and just studied it, and wanted to be a ghost hunter my whole life, and got Trey into this, and Trey can talk about Diamond State, the team that we were on, a little bit.
Yeah, like Jeff's saying, I grew into this since I was born. My mom and sister and Jeff have always been into it, so I just grew that interest, watched ghost hunters growing up, and then back in 2020, this was during COVID. I was kind of just stuck in the house, and I was like, it'd be really cool to join a team. So I started reaching out to places, and I actually reached out to Daryl because I knew he was from Delaware. And said, is there any teams you recommend? He mentioned Diamond State Ghost Investigators. Got on there, and about a year later got Jeff in. And then last year, since Jeff and I do so much video work, when Daryl came out for a special event, Jeff and I interviewed him, and he told us about this project and that he was looking for 2 people and we'd be a good fit. And here we are now.
Yeah, I mean, it was a godsend. I mean, with these guys, it really was, because I'd been given the opportunity to start this. I just didn't know how I was going to do it, because I've never worked on the production side of stuff. I was always, in front of the camera. I mean, I knew a little bit about it. And when I met these guys, I'd been floundering with it for about almost a month or so, the project, when it was kind of given to me. And I met these guys, and I was like, and I saw their work. And when they interviewed me, it took me back to the interview they did with me. It was more like it was in the moment interview where they sat me down. It was everything a production should be like. That's how it worked on Ghost Hunters. The way I sat, the way I looked at them, everything they were throwing at me, because I was kind of feeling them out to see what they really knew. And before I even could say anything or do anything, they were directing me like you're supposed to as a producer or a director or a DP. and I was like, oh shit, this could work. And I told him right in the moment, like when I was sitting with them like 15, 20 minutes, we were sitting at a picnic table in the pavilion when they're interviewing me. I said, look, man, there's this project that's coming up, and I really like to kind of bring you guys in on it. And a month later, we hit the ground running. They were up there doing B-roll and all kinds of stuff. And there was even one day when I couldn't make B-roll to do some interviews, and we actually scouted out a location in Delaware that actually used to belong to my great-great-grandparents, an old house, and we faked it cool. Like we were in the manor. It looked just like
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Daryl's actually never been to the manor.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. We call AI.
It's amazing what you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys really good editing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's funny. No, we saw him there.
No.
He's AI. He's an AI.
I've been dead for 50 years.
We love it there. We're there as much as we can be. You know, it's addictive.
Oh, I'm sure. So, I think probably everybody watching knows about Samuel Miller Mansion, but could we go back a little bit and talk about the actual? I mean, a little bit about Columbia and about the mansion.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I
wish we had Kelsey on here. Kelsey's the real historian out of all of us.
Right.
She does Kelsey is so great with what she does behind the scenes. It takes a lot off of these two for having to put the show together and for everybody. And she's usually 9 times out of 10, she's in the building with us.
Right.
But we can try to kind of fill you in of what we know.
And I've watched the episodes and watched Kelsey, so I made a lot of notes myself because I'm a nerd, like total geek history nerd. So I made some notes too.
We're working on like a history page of the website too, kind of like break everything down in kind of a concise way to give you a timeline of the manor, because it's been through a lot of different iterations through the decades. It's kind of a really interesting place.
I think we almost forget half the time how many different hats that building has worn over the last 200 years.
Right. You're like, Toy Factory. Exactly.
It's funny because it's where the paddle balls were made that everyone played with back in the 70s and 80s, and probably way before that. You find them all over the building, the little rubber balls.
You'll see the ball roll into the room sometimes. You're like, where the hell did that come from?
Those little tiny the rubber balls. I love that game.
Yeah. But it was built in 1804, and it was the Bank and Bridge Company for Columbia, and it was run by a team that were basically abolitionists and helped start the Underground Railroad, and they used kind of the Bank and Bridge to fund this. And it's wild because they owned a lot of buildings in Columbia around the Samuel Miller Mansion, and they owned all the lumber yards. So it was like they were networking these houses for the Underground Railroad, which in the basement has the original tunnel, and we caught a really crazy apparition coming up in this next episode.
It's really a city, an underrated city in American history.
For sure.
There's the burning of the bridge that happened during the Civil War.
That's amazing.
That happened in the lobby there. They signed the thing that that said go burn it, burn our bridge, basically.
Right.
The Confederates were on the other side of the Susquehanna looking to cross it, to take Harrisburg, and the Union Army decided, they came to the Bank and Bridge Company, which is the Samuel Miller Mansion, and said, we got to burn this bridge. So they did. And that shifted the battle to Gettysburg. That changed the whole tide of American history. If the Confederates crossed that bridge, the Confederates might have won that war. You never know.
They would have taken Columbia. They would have taken Harrisburg.
We just did an anniversary. The anniversary of burning.
That's right.
June 28th. And,
That's right.
And we had a medium in the building that night that smelled fire, and we didn't even realize it was the anniversary of the burning of the bridge.
Oh,
wow. We didn't even think about it like that. Yeah.
I mean, the connections are endless. There's so many things, but that's what makes it fun, right? The layers, like I call it paranormal lasagna, like the layers.
We keep finding layers. That's the crazy part. Once you think you got to the end, there's like 10 more that come out. The big thing in the last, in the last 6 months would probably be the Crouching Woman. And we don't know where that all of a sudden came from. And then we kind of find out later on, you know, that they've been seeing this woman for years before we were ever in the building, and she's kind of reappearing. The three witches, and you know, in the town. That's not so much part of the building, but the town,
it's like a
and which
legend.
is loosely based. Yeah, it's loosely based on Hocus Pocus, the movie. So yeah, there's so many. Yeah, there's so many links and layers to this whole thing, and it's just we could be there for years figuring it all out.
Yeah,
that's the best part.
That's the goal. Yeah.
You know,
So we have some pictures of it, right? We have some pictures of the mansion.
Yeah. Well, this is
throw them up.
Yeah, I'm going to sign. This is when you come in. You see that. Well, this is the side. We all hang out there. People having cigarettes and stuff like
so
that.
that where that sign was, Anthony and Jenny, there's like a big arch there, and that would have been the original tunnel. So after it was the bank and bridge, it was a feed mill, where they would basically in the basement there is a mill where they ground feed, and right through where the sign is, the horse and carts would have come through the drive through, and they would have filled up with feed. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It was kind of like it was a gas station for horse and buggies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I can see it. Yeah, the arch.
It is.
That's cool.
Is that where they signed the paper that burned the bridge?
Yeah, the next room over to the left. Yeah.
The print shop. Yeah, the room to the left of that.
Right. I think I put a picture of that. Wow.
So, I just want to tell the audience, I don't know. They actually burned the bridge, and they rerouted the Confederate Army from going into that town, and they ended up, because they had to go around through the water, they ended up in Gettysburg. So that was the Battle of Gettysburg.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was it.
So there's a train there too, correct? And you guys talk about the train, really making the activity a little bit more.
Yeah, of doing like this long term, we're finding trends like when the train passes, you'll hear it loud in the building. There's like an energy shift, and it feels like the activity spikes like in the moments before and after the train. So we have a theory that they're kind of feeding off of that kinetic energy. And we tested this with just playing audio of the train in the building and seeing if that created a spike, which it didn't really. We tested a couple times, but I think it's actually the train passing.
Wow.
But if you think of the Underground Railroad, I have theories that the train could have been, a way to, get to the next town, and hearing the train coming, they may have had to, make moves quickly to get to the train. So, that could be what we're hearing. Some of that residual, like hurry up, go. Because we hear footsteps, we hear like shuffling. It's every time the train goes by.
The train could have been also like a cover up of sound. When the train went by, they had to go. They could move that time too.
Yeah,
that's wild.
That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Does your equipment? I think I saw in one of your episodes that some equipment was going off when a train went by. Am I dreaming that? Right?
Pretty
like,
consistent.
does it make some of your equipment go off when the train goes by?
Absolutely.
Right. So there you go.
Sometimes. Yeah.
There you
Like
go.
vibration on, motion sensors will go
Sure.
off. It's and then, every alert on every camera will go off. So the whole screen lights up red, it's audio alerts. And, but we always say a train, and then we just like wait and see what happens, because it's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, we're finding other trends on top of that too. Like Jeff's saying, this whole thing is like a science project, and we're finding, 10:30 at night seems to be a hot, time period of activity that we're picking up on, and precipitation seems to play a part. Rainy nights and stormy nights seem to make it more active, and we're a block away from the river. Which is similar to the hotel, which is My Haunted Hotel, the UK version of what we're doing, what started this project.
It was interesting.
We're just like a couple miles from Chickies Rock, this kind of like state park where you can hike and do all the like rock climbing. But there's a huge chunk of like quartzite. It's all limestone and quartzite. So that's like just what all the area is basically. So that could, explain some things too. But that Chickies Rock Park has like dark stories behind it that we're into.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you explain the concept of opening it up and having 24-hour cameras and things like that to the audience?
Yeah,
Opening it up to investigators.
Yeah, I mean, well, basically, it's to capture everything that's happening in a building when we're even not there. So it's a great concept because you can't be there 24/7. So even you lived in a house, you're not there 24/7. So I mean, with the camera, 16 cameras running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you capture a lot of crazy stuff that you don't see when you're in the building. And then allowing the public to come in is part of the project where we open it up so there's no one could actually say like, hey, this is fake, this is you're faking this stuff. It's not like a TV show where you're there for a week or two. And we're there, we've been there for almost 2 years now, going on over a year and a half, going on 2 years. And, we're constantly, filming and constantly investigating that building. And we allow the public to do the same thing with us, to be a part of the show, which no show has ever done that, where you can come in, you sign a waiver, and it's a good possibility that you might, you're most likely you're going to be on some episode. It might not be next episode. It might be an episode 6 months from now, but you'll most likely be on it.
We save everything too. Like we save all the footage. So like there was a moment we caught a couple months ago where Trey heard like a rattlesnake sound. And only now that we found like something out about, and a medium picked up on, snakes, and like, there's this weird thing going on with the snake that we went back to months ago, like that footage, like, oh my God, that meant something then. We didn't know it, but we just try to save everything. And so you might be in an episode next year, depending on what
you didn't know about. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No, that makes sense. Right. Totally.
Especially
with all these rabbit holes. You never know.
Yeah. Well, I drew that picture for you guys.
Yes. Sailor?
Sailor, right. Yeah, the sailor is an interesting story too.
Do you want to hit on that, Anthony?
Look at this guy.
That's what I do. Okay.
He's so good.
He's
so good.
Awesome.
When I was coming in, and I was just coming. The owner, I forgot his name. The tall guy.
Rowdy.
Mm-hmm. Rowdy. Yeah. Rowdy. He was bringing me in, and we're talking, and I go past this area right here.
Okay.
And I see him standing in the corner right there.
Yep.
Like just staring at me. And I was like, so I just asked him, I said, there's somebody standing right there. And he's like, yeah, that happens. And every so often. So I went back and, went back into the main area. And I went to Daryl. I said, yeah, I seen a sailor. And I described him to him. And he goes, oh, I never heard anything about sailors before. Nothing ever came up. Then we went upstairs. I went upstairs, and I was in the main room with all the monitors. I love that room. I'm a camera person.
That's Anthony's heaven, just so you know. Like that is Anthony going to heaven.
Came down on me. It was great.
Monitors everywhere.
And so we're sitting down there, and Trey's sitting next to me. Daryl's next to him. And we're just watching the monitor. They play back. There was you had a spirit. Something went past a light down in the basement. So they you want to see that? I said, yeah, let's just check it out. And it was like a month or so before that, whatever. So they're showing it to me, and the guy he's like, so did he have a headset on or something? But he said something about a sailor. Is the sailor here that we've seen or something like that? And then Trey and Daryl just sailor. Did he just say sailor? I said, yeah.
Right.
So it was like interesting how, and then he goes, and you just telling me about sailor. Then Daryl started telling Trey about how I went downstairs and told him about it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, so I said, I'll draw you the picture.
Yeah.
And then
so
that's about sailors.
That's what makes this project so cool is our next episode coming out is the best visual evidence that we've caught there. And it's an apparition coming out of the Underground Railroad tunnel.
Yep.
And it plays into our theory that spirits are traveling to and from the manor throughout Colombia for multiple reasons. And one of them is what Anthony's saying is during a 1 or 2 month period, Anthony, along with 2 other groups of guests, witnessed or had evidence of a sailor at the manor. And right after this guy from a previous investigation asked, is the sailor still here, is when we caught that apparition. But before that, those 2 months and after, there's been no reports of a sailor.
Wow.
Right. So it's making us think that there's something that's coming through, hanging out for a bit and then leaving. And we're also getting reports of the same type of activity at different locations throughout the town. So it's making us think that these spirits could be traveling using this Underground Railroad system,
it's
still
possible.
today.
Well, you have all those pictures, those banners of different sailors and soldiers from the different era all over the place. This is right outside your place, because I went out there and I was curious. Sailors, this guy is right outside your place.
No way.
So I don't know.
That he saw?
I don't know if I seen him or not, but you got these banners all over of sailors.
Like
a lot of them are sailors too.
Right.
Of Navy or wherever they're from, and there are also soldiers. But I was like curious. I was like, this. I just seen a sailor, and then I come outside, and there's a banner right there across the street, like SUNY Cross of that guy. I'm like, I wonder. Yeah. He's still going to be alive. We don't know, but
I think all those are people who passed. Like
they all passed. Okay,
it's amazing though, because you had no idea about the sailor thing coming in, which is what we want. We want people that are coming in fresh and there's no dilution, there's no pollution of evidence or knowledge coming in, and it's all data that we're collecting. It's just amazing.
That's tough. It's like a double-edged sword, because it's not a constant experiment where we want people to watch the show, but we also don't. We want you to come in fresh, but we also want you to watch the show. So it's tough.
Right. No, I get that.
But it's also why the footage we show in these episodes is months after it's shot. It's because it gives it that time where we can collect different information of people coming in without releasing it right away and kind of polluting it.
Right.
Carol, how the place you're at right now, the Salem Millers, how close is it to the one out in England? Is it like, because I know the one out in England, the manor that they do out there, that's part of the project,
right? It's a hotel.
It's a hotel.
It's a hotel. I'm sorry. I'm missing. I told you I don't read.
They have 2 in England. They have Pendle Hill, which is like, England's Salem, basically, which was an amazing get. No one's actually investigated it there, and so it was like a really fresh, spot. But the hotel has a lot of similarities with Samuel Miller Mansion.
That's what.
Weird coincidences, and a lot of English towns are similar in Lancaster County, like Chester.
Do they have the monitors all over the place too?
So we took their format basically. We kind of use their project as a template.
So they also bring the public in too.
Right.
They do the same thing.
It's all the same thing. I mean, we might do things a little bit different than they are, but about 90% of it is the same. Because things like when I was over there investigating over there, and it's a little bit different than the way we do it over here. Everything's it's just a little bit different than the way we do it. But
we're not like a true hotel. We don't have rooms that you can sleep in. We have rooms you can sleep in, but it's not like a room you can shut and have accommodations, and it's not like exactly like the hotel. It's more.
So that's still a usable hotel.
To a point. The bathrooms in the hotel don't work upstairs, just the ones downstairs, like ours. But everything else it's set up just like the bed. They have beds and everything set up just like you go into a historical B&B. It's very active location. When I was over there investigating, it was straight on, no messing around, and it was an amazing location. And I got to spend the night there. It was an eye opener. It really was. I mean, if the building's 500 some years old, almost 600 years old. So
yeah, when Daryl told us about it, we like tore through that whole series and just, we had tons of ideas of how we could, bring this here and make this kind of our stamp on it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was wondering, because I know, you guys, and I think it's a great concept that we have one in England and one in the United States, and I really think it's a great concept how you actually let the public come in and be part of the show.
Exactly.
And I think
And
that's
teams, we welcome all paranormal teams to come out and investigate, and all kinds of different methods of investigation, because that's where it's really interesting is when those methods create similar results, with all the footage we have. It's just it just backs up everything we're doing. It's
it's not just open.
I wish everything was like that.
I mean, we're open to the people do. They come in and make music videos in the building. We've had all kinds of stuff. The building's open for anybody who wants to come in and rent the building to do whatever they want there.
Birthday parties.
The paranormal is a huge part of it.
So good.
People come, they just love the aesthetics of it, the way it looks, and there's been several music videos actually shot in the building.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I believe it. It's got such a cool vibe. I actually went there before you guys were there to investigate, like earlier to investigate the mansion. And I agree. Like, I know I've seen Daryl talk about his first impressions of the place, and I'd love you to share that. But, the first time you ever went there, it was so active, like immediately the first time I was there. And basically the things that you heard, the footsteps, right? Like the walking, like, we all do it, right? We all get quiet and we're like, you have that universal gesture, like, you hearing this? Are you hearing this? Kind of thing, right? We all do it. Yeah. So what was your first impression, Daryl?
First impression, I've never, when they reached out to me back, it was in 2020, is when I was on Ghost Hunters. I never heard of the location. It's crazy because I've been up in that area before. I investigated Haldeman Mansion many times, which is literally 10 or 15 minutes from there. And I'd never heard of the location. And I said, this sounds, it was a Halloween event. It was actually the night before Halloween. And I went and it was a huge crowd there. So my first impressions, we were only there till like midnight. So of course, it was an open bar, people were drinking. So you had your serious people and you had your non-serious people, who wanted to investigate. And we had some stuff happen. But my second time back, which is about a year before we came into there, started filming, I did an event there. And that's when the place really, caught my eye, because it was a more serious group of people that were there to investigate. And it was, that's when we heard the children. I heard the children for the first time running around the building, setting equipment off. All kinds of stuff was happening that night. It was a really cool night. And and when this project came about, it was the one location that kept coming back to me. I was like looking at 4 or 5 different buildings, and this is the one that kept coming back. And I'm glad we went with it. I didn't realize it was even going to be this active. If it was a quarter of this active, it would have been a hit too. But this place has been more than I could ever imagine. Any of us can imagine, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When you have,
I thought we were going to have to really lean into every Ford Creek and just like, but
you got people like Diamond State
runs itself.
Yeah, when you got people like Diamond State who run Fort Delaware and been there for 15, 20 years, who love coming here because it's so active, that's pretty impressive. Because these guys, Fort Delaware is no joke. That's where I had my first real experience. These guys love that location because they have so much activity happening. Yeah. So that's a big feather in our cap, because those guys are they're professionals, man. They're like, I've never worked with a group so professional in my 20 years of doing this. The people like who run these paranormal locations as those guys, they're really, they're spot on.
Right.
I'll tell you what too. A few weeks ago, Daryl, myself, and Jeff, and a group of guests, Daryl had an experience. Me and him heard it audibly. I've never seen Daryl look like this at the mayor. If you want to talk about that, Daryl.
Oh my God, yeah. I think the last, it was an experience where my actual, like, my heart dropped, like, in the moment, like, where you got that feeling in your stomach, like something ain't right.
Right.
And it was Trey and I were next to each other, and Jeff was in the other room with the group. And Trey and I kept hearing stuff on the third floor, like if it sounded like furniture was getting moved around. So we had thought one of the VIPs, because this is during the VIP experience, which is about 10 or 12 of them. We thought one of them had taken off, went up to the third floor, and we didn't see them. So we actually like heard someone walking around, and like at the moment we're like, "Hey, come on down. We're doing the investigation down here, basically." And something in a full conversation, full sentence, answered me back when I said to come downstairs. It walked to the railing and basically was talking over the railing to Trey and I. And Jeff was,
I caught the tail end.
Get in here, dude, because he's in the back with the camera. I was like, he come running in, but we did capture it on all the static cams in that area. And my heart, like, it just, like, I stopped dead in my, and I looked at Trey and I said a few choice words. And I did not, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not want to go up there. I was like, what? I was like, there's no effing way that just happened.
Yeah.
I've never seen him like that. Never seen his face like that.
Well, that would get me too.
It was about 5 years ago. Last time that happened to me, and the only time I can remember before that was on Ghost Hunters when I was in cabin 13, and I had a little girl walk in. She walked into the room, was talking to me on camera out loud, and it never made it to the show, which pissed me off. But it was that same feeling I had. And at that point, I was alone, but I was even with Trey and with all these people. And that's still like, I stopped dead in my tracks. Like, there's no effing way this happened. Yeah. It was crazy.
Wow. You were for sure thought somebody was up there.
We did. And we all went up there just to make sure there was nobody up there walking around hiding. There was nobody up there. It was crazy.
That is so unnerving.
Upcoming episode for sure.
That's a great experience.
That's a great one.
That was witnessed by guests, by real people, real experiences. That's our tagline. We had guests there that witnessed that. They came up there with us. There was no one up there, and we caught it on camera. Yeah, and that's kind of what this is all about.
Awesome.
That's the best part.
Camera, the best part.
Yeah, except that, you know what, even if you didn't catch it on camera, I mean, just that I'm just big on the experience. Like, I know what you guys are doing, but oh my gosh, that's unforgettable. And all these years, right, you've been doing it. Like, I've been doing this for like 30 years, right? Like, but that kind of thing, just like, whoa. I once had somebody shush me from above, like lean over the railing and go shh to all of us because we were talking, whatever kind of thing. So, but that's not the same
For me, when you have an experience like that, it re-sparks in my body and my soul to keep going. Because you get to a point where you get like used to it. And like for us, like a lot of stuff that happens in that building is like crazy for a guest to come in there. But for us, it's second nature. Like the kids, we hear the kids all the time. Most people hear kids, running around and talking to you and yelling out loud. They're out the door. Like us, it's just like, okay, the kids are running around. And we hear it all the time, and doors opening and closing. We see that all the time in that building.
Right.
But you start getting used to it, and you're like, oh, I want something to happen. And then all of a sudden you have something like that happen again. And it's just kind of like, oh, I'm ready to go. It's like that first high again. Yeah.
It's a kickstart. It's like a kickstart. Okay, let's do it.
The crouching woman, though, I have to see her. Like, I am on a mission to see her.
You haven't seen her.
I haven't seen her. We all are. But I started a support group on Facebook. So the non-seers can talk about their non-experiences.
The crouching woman.
Seers are
Jeff, you're funny. Jeff, you're very funny. In fact, I have to say that you have my favorite quote in all the episodes that I've seen. I even wrote it down because this is my favorite quote. I love a scared friend. Always bring a scared friend. That's like my favorite quote of the whole series.
It's the best.
Yeah.
We always have to have a victim.
That's the best nights. The best nights is when we get a private and there's someone that's brand new to it and they're freaked out. I love it.
Always bring a scared friend.
Yeah. I love a scared friend.
Yeah. I opened
up the face, right?
Oh yeah.
This can of worms I opened up that night. I saw this crouching woman, and the three ladies from the UK saw it as well. A few hours later, we caught it on camera. But this opened up such a huge can of worms, and Jeff's been
Sure.
just dying to see it, and she will not show herself though.
We have medium Bianca Rose and Queen of Darkness that have been there a couple times, and before they come, they do.
They'll be on our show soon.
Oh, awesome!
Yes.
So
Nice.
before they come, a couple days before, they do a sensory deprivation tank,
Mhm.
and Bianca, they both have visions, and what we do is she brings her notes in, she writes down right after, and it's on the episode. Like her notes, like were crazy, like coincided with history we hadn't brought up yet, experience that haven't been on episodes yet. So I tried that last time just to see if I could tap into anything like that. Because I'm just like, I'm begging her. I'm there. And I was there last weekend, and like somebody, has been there their first time, doesn't even know there's a show really. It was like, oh my God, this like little crouching woman came down the steps. And I was like,
I know.
Yeah.
and it was just out of camera. I'm like, we didn't get
Like, what's
So-
wrong with us that we want to see that
He thought
stuff?
it was remember?
it's a total normal,
He thought it
healthy
was-
obsession.
Right. You're like,
Yeah,
I want to see the crouching woman.
Yeah.
I must see it.
That's funny. Can you imagine if the scared friend saw the crouching woman? Oh,
I
then
know.
you'd be really mad.
That's a good episode.
It's always best when
That's
we have
funny.
like a non-believer come in and a believer. I love
Yeah, for
that.
sure.
Yes.
You always get that one guy who comes in who's with his girlfriend or his wife that drug him there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I don't believe in this stuff, or he's very hesitant to even. And then at the end of the night, he's like, man, when you interview him or whatever, you talk to him, and they're like, yeah, I believe now. That's the best feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Isn't
was
that the
genuine
greatest?
too. He was genuine.
Yeah.
He didn't seem like he had ever seen anything about it.
No.
And
He thought it was
he
like
said
he
that.
thought it was like a cougar or something. The way he was talking, he said it looked like a large cat slithering down the stairs.
Right.
Oh wow.
He was like stopped dead in his tracks, and it just went past him. And it
I
just
love
isn't-
it.
we-
Those
you
are
know,
the people you send in the basement by themselves. You're like, hey, can you
Oh,
get on stage by yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
The thing
I
I
is,
don't
love the
believe-
basement. The
I don't
basement's
believe
really
it.
cool.
I'm not going in there. I love those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
such thing as ghosts. Okay, then you go off while you're out. No.
Suddenly
But
you're not
nothing in
so
there is
brave,
that,
right?
like even the crouching woman. I don't feel anything personally. I don't feel anything that's super negative. It has a lighter energy, even though it has such a heavy history. It is a lighter feeling, and I think it's the kids' spirits that bring that out. I definitely feel them there, and it's like a playful, playful energy.
Yeah,
I
the
think they're
kids are
like
so
surprisingly
prevalent,
strong.
right? Like
They are.
Adam just brought up the cookie EVP,
They're very
right?
intelligent.
Like you guys were
Yeah.
saying.
They
Yeah.
identify
episode.
cookies as chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
It's just like very intelligent, and it's about chocolate chip cookies, and that's usually what we hit at 10:30. So it's
Yep.
like having cookies in a certain spot at 10:30 could, trigger these child apparition.
Oh, wow.
yeah,
So it's
that,
like
that was
things
a
like
good
that.
call by Adam. That was from our first season. That was during a private investigation, and these guests
Right.
were in, and our team that was running it that night all heard the same thing, heard a child screaming from inside. And when we played it back, it's a little kid saying it's chocolate chip, and then another kid saying woohoo. And in the sitting room at the manor, there was a tray of chocolate chip cookies, and it sounds like little footsteps running up to it.
Yep.
Where it's
So like, go check out what kind of cookies are those, and they like run up to them. It's chocolate chip.
Yep.
And it's just like I was like listening to it at home. I was like, I can't believe we just.
That's
Yeah,
I knew there was chocolate chip cookies there, and that's what they're saying.
when I was there that night, I stayed downstairs and I slept in the one of the cots.
Mhm.
And it was me and one of the other guests that stayed.
Yeah.
And I actually heard like walking because we're right there and there's the table behind me. And I could actually hear walking. And I actually took pictures thinking somebody was there.
Right.
Mhm.
And
The parlor is an
all
underrated
the
spot.
time.
The parlor is
Yeah.
very active. That's where most people
Yeah.
sleep when they stay there.
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I believe that. I think where you put your stuff sometimes is where you don't investigate.
Yeah.
I always tell people that. I'm like, don't
Oh,
miss
I
the
have my
place where you put your stuff.
I have my
Right.
body cam and I put it up on the shelf. I had it on all night until it died.
Mm.
You know,
You
and
play
all I
that-
heard,
that footage
all
back?
I heard on is go.
Anthony, we need to bring cannoli. They need an EVP saying cannoli.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Where you slept, Anthony, was right where Samuel Schock had his funeral, where his casket was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Samuel Schock lived there for 40 years, died there, and had his funeral in the parlor. And that's something that we found out, through this project.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So I slept where he was laid out.
Yeah.
And what about his wife?
I slept like a dead that night.
Too, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
They're at Mount Bethel. They're all, everybody tied to the manor seems to be buried at that Mount Bethel cemetery.
I'm trying to think of their names. Annie? No.
It's Hannah and Anna. Yeah.
Okay, I combined them.
Hannah and Anna.
Okay.
And Hannah.
Yeah.
Passed away in a mental institution, but we found
that's right.
Her paintings that she did in the manor.
Wow.
And we took some photos of those. We're gonna reprint them, frame them, and create like a Hannah room.
That's beautiful.
See what triggers from that. But yeah, these are paintings she did in the manor. It's self-portrait. It's pretty amazing.
Wow.
We found out
access to that.
Samuel Schock was a huge violinist too, so we want to do some violin type stuff. See if that's a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
All part of this science project that we got going. Like
I know. Oh my gosh, you need like a binder this big. Like oh my, and then you have the Underground Railroad. You have the service quarters upstairs. You have Daryl's doll that the head falls off.
Yeah. Yeah, our first year was like a baseline, just creating what the manor is and what we can expect. And then we brought in the haunted doll, Baby Anne Boleyn, our second year to kind of see what spiked.
Baby Anne Boleyn.
Yeah,
first night.
I have a picture of it.
The head. I was sitting in the corner and I'm taking pictures, and it looks like the freaking head going, like it would turn.
What?
You gotta send me those pictures, Anthony.
Yeah.
I got a picture of it, and then I got it like turned a little bit, and I'm like, did that just turn? Oh, that's crazy. I took it on a full spectrum camera.
Yeah, we put her in the basement and put the head on her and let her sit there in like 16 hours. We could scrub through nothing, and then the head just like gets knocked off, like falls forward.
Yeah, hard. And we set it back up that same day. It was the day we were leaving after the event. And it's still on there now. This is days later. So it's not like it's just gonna fall off randomly.
Right.
But
that head, you could feel the energy from that doll.
There's something
attached. The energy.
Do you want to hit on it, Daryl? Kind of talk.
Let's talk about it.
I kind of ran into the lady Heather who basically, I was in Sacramento, California last year doing a Paracon, and she was set up there the day before the Paracon opened. She's like friends with the people running it, so she had all her stuff set up, and I approached her. She didn't have I don't remember having prices or anything, and I was like, because we were looking for something to bring into the manor at that point, a doll, something haunted. And she had me 15 or 20 of these, haunted dolls that she gets called to these locations, estate sales, and things of that nature to collect this stuff from people. So I walked to the table, I'm looking at them, and that's the one I pointed at. I said, how much do you want for that? He said, will you sell it to me? And she said, yeah, I'll sell it to you. And next thing I know, I bought it. And brought it back, and I had it for about a month or so before I brought it to the manor. And then the night I brought it there, I couldn't stay. I was only there for maybe 2 or 3 hours. It's the night the UK girls were there with Trey, and I had to jump over to the next town. I had an appearance, an event in Mount Joy, and so I left it there. At that point, I'm not thinking anything's going to happen. It's a cool centerpiece, and then I hear from Trey the next day about how crazy everything was, and then about the crouching woman, and all of a sudden she's showing up, and then to come find out this crouching woman, it was seen years before that, but she hadn't been seen since the doll came in the building. So I'm wondering if it's something that actually sparked her interest. Not sure. And it's one of those things we've been kind of playing around with for the last since October of last year. Just kind of doing different experiments with baby Anne Boleyn, and just seeing what we can conjure up and see how the activity in the building actually changes. And I do believe the activity has changed quite a bit, especially back in servants' quarters and blue room. Things seem a lot different back there, and that's where we have her now. We have her in it's a real casket that was in the building, and we have her displayed in this casket most of the time, so people can actually see her and investigate and do whatever they want. When they're in the building, doing the investigations.
I think we have a picture of her.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a picture up.
Yeah.
And that's crazy stuff's happened with that casket. Like the whole shelf has dropped out. We've had motion sensors in there that go off. So we've been testing with her. We've moved her around a little bit. Heather from Night of Living Dolly sent us over that casket too that we've been testing out. So it was the casket. Or the carriage, I mean, not casket. Yeah,
the carriage.
Or baby carriage that we have, we did some testing with. But I have a theory that the Crouching Woman is something that's been here. It may be tied to the land or tied to this witch's curse that we were, we're looking into. But I think the doll, she's, was jealous of the doll. I think that, us making a display and putting her literally on a pedestal, she's like,
a coffin pedestal,
and I'm the woman of the manor, not this thing.
So to Jeff's point, that night, the first night we brought the doll in was when we saw that Crouching Woman, and at the same exact time when the lady saw it upstairs and we caught it on camera, at the same exact time in the servants' quarters, there's a hand that was going on Sue's head, one of our guests that night.
Yeah.
So I think whatever that hand was maybe something that's attached to the doll. And the Crouching Woman was basically like, it was like showing who's boss, this is my place kind of thing. Because right at the same time, we saw both shadow figures.
It was like a protective, like, pat, like, I got you.
Right.
It's definitely
another theory is that thing could be people have seen or felt mediums have sensed like a 7 foot tall, like alien like creature that would have large hands. But the odd thing is that the native tribe, the Native Americans in the tribe, in the area were the Susquehannocks that were 7 foot tall giants. So I have a theory that was tied to, that was maybe a Susquehannock, and I think it's a protective kind of entity. And that's been seen throughout Colombia at the market house, in the dungeons. That helps the theory of that these things can move around through the tunnels. But
now people are picking up on it in the manner of this 7 foot entity, which it's kind of weird because when they were doing the digging in the basement late last year, they found Native American artifacts. They went down to a level of 600 years in the basement, and they pulled up look, something that could be old pottery, possibly like an old hatchet where they would maybe smash grain and stuff like that. So they found some stuff like that, and I'm wondering if something got released, or something it's just was brought when they dug that stuff up. I'm not sure.
I have pictures of something. I'm not sure exactly what you were saying, but this stuff.
These are some of the artifacts we've.
That's some of the stuff.
So and that's at the same time we're bringing the doll. So it's hard to pinpoint. And then people will bring gifts and leave dolls and leave little trinkets and rocks and crystals. So it's hard to pinpoint what's coming from where, and the sailor coming out of the blue could be tied to something someone brought, or maybe it's traveling. So it's really trying to hammer down the experiences people are having, the videos and audio we're capturing, the history we're digging up, and we're just trying to tie everything we can into and all the tech. We try and bring people in that are cutting edge, doing something new, something out of the box that we can test here. Like Ron and just really smart people that we can team up with and try different things.
Right.
Ron Lord is
I love that.
Mind blowing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's always great because there's so many new things coming out now in the field.
Right.
Why not try something new? If it works, it's great, fantastic. If it don't, you can't say you didn't try something new.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
so there's so much stuff that I've been doing a long time also, and there's so much from when I first started with buying all my equipment at Home Depot to now. You know,
Yeah.
so
I would
I
say
still do.
we're like the ghost side of Skinwalker Ranch. We try to kind of emulate how they do it and
yes,
picking
Right.
up on these
I love
trends and
that.
these patterns and
Yeah, that's
bringing
kind
in
of
people that are smarter than us and different unique
experts.
experiments and that's
Yeah.
kind
Right.
of what we want to
Yeah.
be and very scientific with it.
We don't
And,
think there's one right
Yeah.
way. You know?
right, exactly.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
judgment with
Well,
the
not
guests
just
that
that.
come in.
I
You're
agree.
in one location, just like they are. They're in one location for all these, your seasons. And same thing with us. We'll be going to season 3 before you know it, at the same location, not bouncing around, from one location to one location every week. And that's one thing. A lot of the shows, like, you're only in a location for a week. On Ghost Hunters, we'd be there a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how big it was. And that's cool. You can capture some really cool stuff, but you can't prove anything.
I'm on my podcast.
You can't build a baseline. You can take it to the client and be like, hey, this is what we call
Sorry about that.
good luck. Now,
Right.
with this project, we're able to start where we walk in the door, take all the folklore and all the hearsay and rumors, kind of put them on the back burner and dissect them, see what's real, what's not real, the real names, the true people who lived there, died there, and bring all out. And not just that, but commemorate them because they've been forgotten. Like Samuel Shock. No one even mentioned this poor guy's name. He worked there, lived there for 40 years, died there, and his viewing in the building. And now he's been put to the forefront. But like, hey, here's this guy, Samuel Shock. Here, this is who he is. And that's something I can say about the people who work behind the scenes. Before I jump off here, I got to jump off in like 3 minutes. But the people who work behind the scenes with us, people like Kelsey and Diana, you got all these great people from Diamond State, Josh and Landon, who do a lot of camera work for us, drone work. These are the people that make our jobs so much, especially these two. It makes their jobs easier. And I tell you, without them, we wouldn't be able to find out all this. And the people in the town too. A lot of people in the town come to us and talk to us about type stuff and give us ideas and tell us names and things of that nature. So, yeah, it's a community thing. It's not just us. We're more of a backdrop, and it's basically showcasing the building, showcasing the town. The building is the true the star of the show. And in the town, the town is the next step. Like, really, we have so many people in the town, so many different locations that we can move this same project to and branch out. It's the same thing in that town. And we would never have to leave that town, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
We wouldn't. It's such a forgotten part of American history. It missed being the capital by one vote.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Yeah, that's a great fact.
It had been Washington, D.C.
Right.
All because someone got butt hurt. They didn't get invited to a party.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me.
Like that close, it could have been.
Yeah, that close.
Town of underdogs.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's
nowadays. So
town.
And then you supposedly you had the 3 witches who put the curse on the town, 150 years ago. And this is all stuff that we're working on now, trying to figure out, was the town cursed? Who knows? But this is all stuff we're trying to bring to the forefront and get people to come to that town to see that this place is legit. It's the next Gettysburg, in my opinion. You give it there 5-10 years, you're going to have that same tourism there if it keeps going like this.
Yep.
There's a huge hotel being built right on the same block as the manor, so it's it's going to be like that long weekend destination. You can hit so many different haunted places
wonderful.
right in town. Yeah.
You love to hear that. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
We just want to boost that community and preserve that mansion, get it back to what it looked like in the 1800s. There's dormers, windows that they want to put in. this is
That's what
part
we're
of
all
it.
about.
Exactly.
Daryl, I know you have to jump off. We'll see you in Gettysburg.
I will be in Gettysburg, yes, at the Bash with these two.
Mm-hmm.
In a couple weeks. It came up so fast. I'm like, oh, it's like 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
2 weeks
It's
away.
only a couple of weeks away. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. And we also,
Great.
in another week and a half, we have Dustin and Chris coming out. So guys, come check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be at
At the
Manor.
Manor? Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Perfect.
going to be
We'll
a really cool event that they're putting on. They loved it. Dustin, when he came there last year, he loved the place so much he had to come back, and he wanted to bring Chris Williams with him. So they're here.
That's right.
They're coming.
He's been there. Okay.
Excited for that.
Yeah.
That'll be a good time.
All right, guys.
Well,
You have a
so
great
cool.
night.
Thank you,
for
Daryl.
having
See you
me.
soon.
Thank you, Daryl.
Hey, man.
See you later, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good
See ya.
night. Thank you very much. Absolutely.
Now we can talk about him. No, I'm kidding.
All right, he's gone.
He's
To
so
go
great.
back, like,
He's great.
with this format, with shows, and it's a pressure to get the episodes done and get, but I can only imagine, with another type of show where you're traveling, the pressure to make that episode entertaining, compelling, history, and have activity. You have to lean into everything, and there's a lot of pressure there. And I think this format, I think it's going to be game changing for the investigation field, and just
I think this is the future of paranormal.
I agree.
I believe. I think it takes days, weeks, months, even to build theories, but it takes years to draw conclusions and find the true stories of these locations. And it's unfair to do that over one overnight investigation or week long.
It's still an experience. You still get that experience, but it's just different.
It's more of a research. This is like a dream come true for me to actually have a place monitored 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
and
ongoing.
It's ongoing. You have a group that works with you, and everybody's on the same page.
Right.
And you're there for the research.
Right.
You're there to share with the public. You're there to share with anybody that wants to be part of it.
Right.
It's not an ego thing. It's just
no egos. Yeah.
No egos. It's just there to, it's
our biggest thing is the guest experience. We want the guests to just have an amazing time, learn the history, but it's noise contamination is something that we are just an ongoing battle, and just making sure that when they're investigating, no one's walking through the building. We're being as quiet as possible. We're even whispering in the control room. We want this to be as clean an investigation as possible. So it's, that's our goal.
I just want to show when I just want to show one thing. When I was there, when I told you guys, the biggest thrill that night was me sitting behind the monitors, and watching the curtain.
Come back. We need help watching those monitors.
I would love that. You're kidding me?
Perfect for that. You have no idea.
Yeah, man.
Just like give him a plate of cannoli and put him in front of the monitor.
Let's do it.
He's good to go.
It's I'm sitting there, and
he's good.
And I hear this voice. I'm like, I recognize that voice. Who's that? You see Jennie in the corner down there in the basement? I took a picture of her, and I kept on saying, what are you doing? It's like,
he's
I see you.
I hear someone I know.
I see you. I'm texting her from there.
I know. You can feel a little creepy sometimes watching that.
Yeah, he's spying on me.
It's that camera that we caught the apparition.
Yeah, that was the
That's coming up in the next episode.
Yep.
Right down that corridor in the corner.
What kind of activity do you have in the basement?
A lot of activity.
Oh, that's right. That is.
Yeah.
That's where
Let's talk about the basement. I really like the basement. What kind of activity do you find that you have the most in the basement? There you go.
I mean,
Here we are.
the last time we were there, right where that picture was taken, where that speaker was, it was right around there. We had the DOS set up by the feed mill door.
I'm going to show it again then.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit further, like towards where Anthony's sitting back that way a little bit.
So like to the left of him?
Towards the feed mill door.
Right.
We had the DOS sitting there with their head on and a GS2 laser grid. So Friday night, it was just Jeff, myself, and our nephew Nathan, who's actually interning with us for the summer.
Oh, nice.
And so we investigated, did some stuff down there, got some cool stuff. But that doll we left down there, and overnight, I mean, this was probably 16 hours, around 7:50 that next morning, the doll's head fell backwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was weird. We were like, okay, that was cool. That was weird. So we set it back up, and we had an event the next night that day. Doll stayed on there the whole time. We had guests come, people walking in and out of the basement, investigating, walking around upstairs.
Yeah.
Around 11 o'clock the next morning, the doll's head fell forward, but at this time it was like slapped off, like hard.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Fell off.
Wow.
Really, really weird.
Yeah.
So we set it back up again and left it Sunday till today, and I checked it today, and it's still sitting on there today. So
I like that. I like that
right?
it's still sitting there. I always like when nothing happens, because when something happens, it's much more significant, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's more validating. You know that thing was sitting there. There's not constant drafts, and I like that it fell off both different ways. It fell backwards and forwards.
And that's the cool part about
when I was sitting in that spot down the basement. I kept on feeling my hair getting pulled.
Mm-hmm. A lot of hair pulling in the basement. A lot of getting touched.
My hair is being pulled. I don't have much hair, as you can tell.
Not like pulled, but like I like tugging and
I didn't know that. Okay.
I thought it was like a spider web or something. I'm like, there's no cobwebs, there's no spider webs or something, and I just kept on going like something like going like this to me, and I thought it was like
luxurious hair. I'm tempted next time I see you.
But you've had other things move, like the ball, right? Like you've had other movement.
Yeah, the beach ball was odd. We tried to debunk that. That was
never really happened again. That thing's been sitting around.
That's the cool part. Is like we can record for a week and play that back and scrub through it and watch anytime it moves. You know, it's like I had my leg touched in the basement. Yep.
There's Debbie from M2D2. Shout out to her. She makes the best cookies. That's my favorite part of it.
Okay, we're gonna get some cookies from Debbie.
And now I'm hungry, you guys.
But yeah, the basement I think is where people get touched the most or feel the most like physically affected.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely footsteps above you.
We've had equipment go off in like a kind of a pocket of energy, and we were like walk in and out of it, and we were getting things like dig, I'm down here, where there's rumors of bodies being buried in the basement. So right where, you know, if I could put a flag in it, it's right in front of the furnace in the basement, and we had a ground penetrating radar company come in, and they scanned, and they found anomaly right in that area, right, that same spot. Like I had chills because he like saw something and he like went back and like checked it again. So we were like, we've been digging down there, like Daryl said, you know, we dug down past where any modern murders we thought, you know, could have been caused by this, but we're still not ruling out. Yeah, we're still not ruling out, you know, some kind of native burial ground. So we're finding more spots to dig, and we've had mediums say you're digging in the wrong spots. So it's like, tell us where. Like we want to dig right.
The problem is in the basement, there's a walkway that kind of circles around the middle section of the basement. Yeah. And I think if we cleared out that middle section, it's got a lot of debris and just junk, you know, stuff from the basement, big, heavy stuff. If we were able to clear that out, maybe I think something in there. But we've had plans to try to get some cadaver dogs in, which could help solve that problem. So if we can get some double positives of cadaver dogs plus a GPR, you know, kind of check.
It would be cool to have animals in the building anyway, just to see where they, you know, where they would go, where they wouldn't go.
You got the cat that runs around.
Yeah. And we wanted, you know, Spooky's been extra.
Spooky's there, yeah.
Spooky demeanor has changed a little bit.
Really?
Okay.
A couple months. She's just way more skittish than normal.
Really?
Do you want to talk about what just happened?
Yeah, we just did an investigation with her and let her run around in the servants' quarters. And when I went to like go find her, she darted back into the back room and went under the floorboards, which is only like that much room, and it's packed with insulation. So she went in and crawled in, and I thought she was stuck. We couldn't find her. I was like ready to ply boards up.
Yeah,
she did come out, and
first
so I'm reviewing that. That was the first time she's ever like hidden
Wow.
under the floorboards like
She
that.
seemed
Animals are
terrified.
amazing.
She seemed
But
really
I want to do
Our-
more testing with that. More animals.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Like a dog, a cat,
Yeah.
everything. I mean,
turtle would be perfect with a GoPro on a turtle. It's like
Oh my
a
God,
nice,
I love the way you
smooth,
think.
steady, low angle. It's like perfect.
Yes.
You get one of those cameras like this that you can turn it around.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Back in the day, you go.
Turtle Cam. That's
We're
next.
open to, yeah, we're
You
open
heard it here
ideas.
first on our show. Turtle Cam coming next.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I love it.
We're outside the box thinkers, and
That's
You
the
have
way
to be.
have
That's
to
the
be.
best part.
Yes. That's how you get sometimes you get best evidence or you know replies on anything. You know,
Yep.
we were in Gettysburg and some of my team was out in the field over by the peach orchard, out by the field, and I was in, and I have like this little spark gun. I'm shooting, and like I was like, sparking. It's in the dark. It's getting dark out.
Mm-hmm.
My one guy goes to my son, goes, "You want some chocolate?" And my son's going, yeah, okay. But they got an EVP. Break your piece. Break a
Oh,
piece.
nice.
Huh.
Meaning, I guess he got an EVP. Break a piece.
Yeah.
Right.
It means
Yeah.
break me a piece too,
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah, that's the best thing you can do is just live your life in an investigation. Do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
right.
have the birthday party, have the, do your
Exactly.
thing
Right.
and see the reaction. I know we have a question here about a camera.
I'm curious about this. Jeff, have you heard of this?
Yeah.
It's everything
Have
you and gray.
Use an acoustic camera. Everything's
I have
gray.
it. I'd be interested in trying it if you have
very
one.
gray,
If anyone has one.
That's really cool. It's
We're
mostly
very-
used in here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's interesting. I never heard of that myself.
We have
Acoustic
theories about
camera.
different cameras. We're looking more into capabilities of full spectrum, in opposed to IR. There's, Hotel had kind of the same thing. We do catch things on IR, but there's theories that a manifested shadow isn't getting picked up. So people are seeing things, and it should be there. It's not there. So it's something we need to test out. The full spectrum security cams just aren't there. We're looking into how we could get them modded, potentially, maybe put two side by side so we could test that theory and see, is it picked up on just the full spectrum, not the IR? Like that could. But acoustic camera, I'm open to. Yeah, I'm open to.
Yeah.
I never heard of
I
it.
gotta look that up later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Good call, Genghis Khan.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
I don't want to forget to tell you that in the basement, I had a really interesting EVP. Really super smart, intelligent EVP. Everybody left except for me and one other person that was part of the investigators there that were working with us. And as soon as everybody left, of course, the REM pod went off. Everything was happening, right? As soon as it was just the two of us. And I said, let's turn the recorder on. And I got an EVP that says, there's hardly anyone left.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. Yeah,
That
like
is cool.
everybody just left. And it says it's really clear. It says there's hardly anyone left.
Wow.
Man.
Can you send that to us?
That's really cool.
Sure,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, sure. I was going to play it tonight, but StreamYard, it's very hard to hear.
Okay.
Like when you play a video, the video volume is very low on StreamYard. So I always feel like, hear that? And they're like, no.
Yeah. We'll get that in an episode. I'd love it. Yeah.
You might need headphones, but I put it on TikTok. It's there. So
Oh, cool.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down.
A lot of
Yeah.
EVPs.
a lot. Like there
Lot
were
of-
EVPs throughout my whole
Yeah.
session, but that one really
Yeah.
got me. I was like, wow, that's just so intelligent. Like
Wow.
everybody leaves and you say there's hardly anyone left. Like
Right.
incredible.
There's definitely residual energy there. There's definitely residual just activity there, but it's, I think, a lot of intelligent spirits, and I think they're coming and going. But, I think the kids are there that pretty consistently, and I think some of the others come and go, like the sailor, we talked about.
Yeah.
But
He
it's-
probably was on leave.
When-
He came in on the train, and then when the train left, he was on leave. Hey, he had to go back.
yeah.
Right.
He had to go back to the ship.
Yeah.
Heard you guys had chocolate chip cookies in here. Or?
You didn't have enough chocolate chips. He's going back. So, did you ever see anything behind the building? Because I seen something back there, and I drew it.
Something behind the building.
Behind it. Well, I parked when I came in. I went behind the building. I parked.
We think they were more to the building. There was a blacksmith shop. We think it was like very early days, like a brothel, blacksmith shop, and a tavern possibly. But
I seen here. One boy has no shoes on here.
Oh, okay. So actual spirits. Oh wow.
I seen the one guy with shovel. And the other guy, one very skinny, had no shoes on. I know if it was a boy or not, but his head was shaved. And there was another shorter guy there, and there was a black guy that was much taller, and they're like laborers, I would say.
How long do you see them? Like, are they just standing there for a while, and you get this can sketch
no,
them, or is it like a flash?
It's like a flash. It's like a scan.
Yeah.
And when I
like
see
a fax
things,
machine coming up.
like it's like a scan. I see it, and it scans. It's like I get the scan, and then it burned into my brain, and then I actually. Oh, we just lost Trey.
He's just circling.
That's cool.
And man. I just drew it.
I can't.
That's right behind the building.
Yeah. Send it to me.
That's
it's
cool.
good to have. When a guest says, "Hey, I saw a big, tall guy with a shovel."
Yeah, I'll send both of them to you. I sent it to Dow because I was supposed to go back the following session, and I was supposed to go back and show my pictures, and something happened. I couldn't go. So because I think they were doing some more. It was a nest section, and I was supposed to go with them by family stuff.
I think we need like something on the website or something where you can upload your pictures and videos, and how we can get more evidence on the show and get more evidence. If you guys came to the manor and have some stuff that we could potentially use, like send it to us. Like, you never know, it could be the slightest thing, and it could tie into crazy history or some kind of storyline. We're some rabbit hole we're going down.
That's what Dow said. I told him, you ever see it? He was saying something like that, so that's why he decided, let me go tell him about the sailor. That's
amazing, man. Maybe we could put our email out, and people could send to myhauntedmanor@gmail.com, and send us an email. It's Trey and I both check that email pretty regularly, so if you guys have send them over.
Trey, they sucked him back into the manor.
Yeah, right. I don't know what happened.
He just in on us. He can come back. All he's do is hit the thing and come back.
Yeah, but, he's trying to come back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Are you guys coming back to the manor anytime soon?
Definitely. I
would love to. Going coming, but I don't know the next months.
Yeah.
It'll be with Gettysburg, and then next one it's like I'm going to the main Paracon, the horror. Main horror, and it's like, so it's like, I'm going to try to definitely want to go back.
Yeah,
even though it's like a 4-hour trip for me.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to the bash. The Warrens Paracon was the first I've ever been to, so this is all new to me. This is exciting stuff.
The bash is fun.
It's the paranormal is something I've been researching and just eating every piece of media I can. But I definitely, there's like a dip in quality. I feel like in some of the newer shows and stuff. I feel like people are competing to have the biggest jump scares, and I just feel like that's the wrong mentality to have. And
of course it is. Yeah, it's definitely the wrong mentality.
Right.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's just that pressure that I think you only get one night. You got to make this amazing, and it's got to be better than
people click on your show too.
Their show.
Yeah,
I know it's.
Yeah, I don't want to be cynical like that. Like we just focus on the good. We focus on the good. We focus on the good work.
Show nothing happened. That's the hard thing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Show when there's no evidence.
We don't. You guys sucked in the abyss like the movie guys, where they just sucked you right out of there.
That's
the
what
basement rats.
Yeah,
our dad did that.
I know. We had a question about your blue rat.
Yeah.
People in the audience want to know about the blue rat.
Yeah, so that's basement rats. That's like my dad's crew. There's a trophy over here. Basement rats. That's fantasy football 1998 WFL champions.
Nice.
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 Cool.
It's a little tip of the cap to them.
Love a finished basement.
Yeah.
So you guys have you guys started. Your parents are into this, right?
Yeah, our mom is super into paranormal.
Your mom, okay. Because not everybody has that experience, that have parents that are
right
open to it.
Our dad came for the first time about a month or two ago, and he had a good time. He's our Beta Bros Patreon little tagline at the end.
Yeah,
he had a great time though.
He's a believer now. Yeah, he's into it.
Okay, but your mom
is super into it.
Yeah,
do you want to talk about kind of the old house?
Yeah, she's very religious and feel there's angels and believes in all spirits and has seen tons of things, and she's actually seen the same apparition that I saw in that house that we think could have been her brother who lived with us for a while and passed away. And it's just like there's a lot of weird things growing up in our house, and she's kind of had a sensitivity to all of it. So she came to the manor and had some crazy experiences. Our sister is also walks into any room and has weird feelings. But
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are laughing like she says it all the time.
She does. Yeah, she's sensitive to that stuff too, and I think the whole family's into it, and we're now getting our nephew Nathan, our sister's oldest boy, in as an intern, and he's learning video. He's really into video editing, and so it's just a huge help, and keep it in the family is really cool.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the amount of editing review you have to do.
The second year we doubled our cameras, so we went from 8 to 16 security cameras, and it's just it's enormous.
Do you have time to eat? That's so much work.
Not really. Nah, that was the first thing I tasked Nathan with, though, is I got him on the app for our system. So I told him, just review these cameras every day. Let us know if you come across anything that's weird. Just record it and send it.
Because not everything comes across as an alert, so we have to really go through and scroll through, and because we could be leaving crazy evidence on the table.
There's meat on the bone. There's friggin' meat on the bone.
Yeah, and now that we upgraded the system to like a 4K, it's super crisp video. We now have shorter amount of time with the DV. We have to get an external, some external drives, but it's 2 weeks basically, 3 weeks before it starts overwriting itself. So if you are you come to the manor and you want any of that footage, or if you want some of that room footage, let us know right away, because after 3 weeks it's overwriting, and
if you come to the manor,
racing time trying to see what we can find, and
go through your evidence and timestamp everything, and the sooner you can let us know that you caught something, and you can let us know what time it was, we can review it. But after a certain point, we lose that footage. So like Jeff said, we only have about 2.5 weeks to pull anything.
It's so you guys have guests that come in, like you said, you bring in guests each week. Who's coming up? You have Dustin and Chris, correct? Coming up. You have Bianca coming back.
Bianca, I think, is maybe, we haven't, no date yet, but she definitely wants to come back. Her and Queen of Darkness, Shannon, Queen of Darkness.
She was up there a week ago.
She's the only medium that you've had, or you've had other mediums?
Debbie on Debbie on DSGI, Debbie Simmons, who's a medium and has been to the manor multiple times, and it's crazy some of the things that she senses.
But she's actually going to be doing her own kind of event, to tap into that kind of side of you. We're kind of, I love that. Discussing, just the final details to get that set up, but that's going to be coming soon. Not sure when exactly, probably this fall. So look forward to that.
But I think, make that could be its own show in itself, a journey. If I wanted to find out if I could, I think everybody has some kind of psychic ability, and it's just tapping into it. I think humans, I think everybody can. I think it's finding out how to do it, and I want to learn, and see if they're, you know, any, like if my mom has sensitive and my sister is sensitive, you know, are we sensitive too? Is like, and how can we tap into that and get, you know, Bianca's help, Debbie's help, you know, it's, you know, people that we believe have actual abilities, you know, and have blown our minds multiple times. It's just some of the stuff that they sense. You know, how can you know, a normal person tap into any of this and have a vision and see if this works for them. So I think
we're starting to figure it out a little bit, Jeff. Like I'm starting to feel my spidey senses, you know, I can feel when things are kicking up, and
for sure.
And it's kind of been accurate. Like there was a time when my buddy Scott was there. He helps every now and then. And then it was Bianca and the Queen of Darkness, just them two. And we were in the parlor getting ready to do a basement session. And I said that, I was like, my spidey senses are picking up, like something's happening. We're in the parlor. I'm looking around. I looked to my left, and there was a flash of light that went past the wall. It was weird. And then Bianca stood up, and we were getting ready to go in the basement, and she was wearing like a bracelet like this, and it was her protection bracelet, and it just snapped off. Beads went everywhere.
Oh, no way.
And she was just standing there, and it just snapped my flying. Like she wasn't moving her arms or didn't get caught on anything.
Weird.
So I think we're starting to tap into it a little bit, starting to figure it out.
Yeah. So what's happening is you're opening up more to it now. So as soon as because I'm very sensitive also, and because you're opening to it, your mind is starting to let more in. So the more you're getting used to it, it's going to let more and more in. So you're going to start noticing you're opening up. Plus, you have these people also helping you to, you know, how to realize how to open up your mind. So I mean,
it's so hard to turn off your brain, how to, you know, clear your mind.
But what you got to do is you got to learn to like shut it off once in a while, because once you start getting into it and you start opening up, it might become overwhelming to you. So you got to learn to be
careful what you wish for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You learn to meditate. You got to learn to do things, whatever helps you shut down for a little bit, because you don't want it all. Because now it's like your newborn. Everything you're going to have, it's just going to come in all at once, and that's how a child learns. So you're just like a newborn to the psychic, you know, be a psychic or a medium or sensitive. So everything might come to you at once. So, and you don't want that, because that will give you headaches. That could get you nauseous. It could do a lot of things to you that you don't realize.
Yeah, we're dipping our toes into feeling out the water.
Exactly.
You mentioned a unique position to, you know, test things and try things, and it's something we definitely want to do. And you know, if you guys have ideas for experiments or things based on things you've experienced, you know, let us know. Like at the email, and we'll try.
Ninja Turtle Cam. Be careful what you ask for. You'll be seeing that crouching woman everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey,
you'll be going home. She'll be in your bathroom.
You'll be crouching in your bathroom. You're like, wait a minute. I had to get in there. Come on, let's go.
Jeff, he's going to get in the car. She's going to be sitting next to him in the passenger seat. Hey,
shut up, crouching woman.
Grouchy woman could be a grouchy woman.
Can you go crouch over there? God.
You know what? You get some kind of EVP, and she says, "Hey, my name is Julia."
Yeah.
You know, something like that. Like, stop calling me the crouching woman.
We have theories on. Yeah, we've had medium Bianca Rose has theories on what this could be. She says that its name is Sia, Sila, and that it's a female jinn, which is basically conjured by someone. To create, you know, mayhem and wreak havoc.
You just add to the
So now we're looking into jinns and
oh my God, that's the jinns are at the party now. Wow.
But I mean, I give
her
a
rare jinn. Yeah,
she's legitimate, and this isn't something that she says, you know, with every location. So
she's not pointless.
You know, she just won Long Island's, you know, top medium. You know, an award for that, you know, and there's a show with the Long Island mediums. You know, she's Bianca won that. So there's legitimacy.
She's coming up on our show like soon.
If you
Can't
look
wait.
at
Ask her about this stuff.
if you look up Sia
Well.
Jinn and Jinn and
Right.
look at the description of it, it's what people are experiencing at the manor. It's
So funny.
it's weird because
I-
she came up with the name Sia at a completely different time. She's like, she doesn't like the name Anne Boleyn. We thought maybe she was talking about the attachment to the doll was Sia, but now she's confirmed that she thinks it's the crouching, what we call the crouching woman, is Jinn.
And I think we need to kind of let's go back a step for everyone listening. How we got so closely tied with Bianca is when I saw that apparition and we caught it on camera and our guests saw it all in one night.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca and Shannon and Paranormal Theory were scheduled to come there like a few weeks after.
Mm-hmm.
And the only people that knew what I saw was Jeff, Daryl, and the three ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And so we brought them down to the basement. And all I said was, I saw something down there that I'd never seen before. And she asked, was it on all fours? And she described everything after that, to a T.
Mm-hmm.
She read us her notes from her float session, these visions that she was having. And she hit on the trolley accident, the kid spirits, and, more about this crouching woman. That it just kind of blew us away. And that's what, we've been working with her since. And what she's bringing to us is just incredible. It's, continues to hit on stuff that there's no way she would even know about.
Yeah. And people walk out of her private readings like,
yep.
Yeah.
Crying, emotions. Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
We have a third host to this podcast who's not with us right now because she's a veterinarian and she works with horses, and there's horse racing. So she works for this New Jersey state to monitor the horse races. So she couldn't be here tonight, but she's a location medium. She really, specializes in locations. Like we can show her a picture of the place and she can do a reading on it. Like she's incredible. Like really, really good. And I really want to bring her there. Like I really want to bring her.
Let her go.
Ghost history medium, Kimm Geyer. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, you were asking about events coming up, Jenny.
Yes.
We have August 9th. We have Parasite coming with Andy and Frankie. Are you going to be there for that?
That's my group. Yep.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So,
August
if
9th.
She's free for that, definitely bring her. That's going to be a
Definitely.
great event for anyone listening.
I'm having my birthday is August 13th, so August 9th I'm having a party.
Yeah, it's his birthday.
My birthday.
That's our dad's birthday. So happy birthday.
Is it?
I'm August 13th.
Yeah, but he's having a party on the 9th, so I got to choose.
Yeah, because it's 13th.
That's okay. Yeah, no, and I to be fair, I've seen those presentations 5 times, so
yeah,
they're
I'm
very,
looking
very
forward to it.
good.
Yeah,
We just had a summit at the Ritz Theater where you guys were.
Mm-hmm.
So they did the presentations there as well. But yeah, I've seen them, so you're in for a treat. They're amazing. They're both amazing.
Yep. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Ritz
I
was
highly
amazing,
recommend
too.
people go.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone listening, definitely check out the Ritz with these guys.
Please.
Parasite, unbelievable.
Yeah.
That place is amazing.
That's a beautiful place. That deserves our attention and our money. We try to help them raise money. All the money goes to them. So I can't say enough about the Ritz.
These locations. That's the biggest thing is restoring the locations and bringing people into the towns. And
what I still find amazing, that place is actually still a running printing.
Yeah.
Place.
So they bought it in 2017. They moved their print shop from Lancaster. They had to move, and they just really wanted the print shop, which they took over. And then the manor was like an added bonus. It's like a bonus room, a giant mansion.
Which
it's kind of dilapidated. It is falling apart in spots, but just the history and the activity there, it's like you couldn't have. Yeah. It's like you couldn't make this stuff up, like a free haunted mansion with a print shop. It's just
and a lot of the money that's coming in, to us, same thing you're saying, Jenny, is going back into the manor. We now have power on the 2nd and 3rd floor. So we got lights. We're starting to add, heating and AC up there.
Yeah.
The bricks outside have been, repointed and restored. So a lot of this money we're bringing in is going into keeping this place alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get some pictures. I just want to just start showing something. Yeah. This is the old print.
Yeah.
Old print that was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is, I guess, how they used to heat it up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just took a lot of pictures.
This is
That's
Jennie's pictures.
That's
There's
cool.
those printers back there. I think you showed one picture of it towards the back of the print shop, Anthony.
Yeah.
Those when Rowdy has those firing up, it's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
I know.
Oh yeah.
A sight to
It's
behold.
all old antique presses with like wood and metal block letters, and it's
Oh
just
wow,
like
really?
the old way, and who knows what's attached to these, whose arm got caught in one of these and died.
Right.
To be attached to these things, because we get stuff in the print shop all the time. And Rowdy, he's there Monday through Friday working, the print shop, and they get stuff all the time. Like they've been pushed down there. They see apparitions. So it's like the whole building. It's not just the man.
That's where they seen the sailor right there.
Yep.
In that little spot.
Yeah, we had a whole group of guests witness, like Jeff was saying, a 7-foot-tall figure. That was our very first night open. Whole group of
I
guests.
love that.
Yeah. In the
So
print shop. It's like
that's interesting.
That's really cool.
Hey,
But I
this
mean,
is-
just like any location, there's plenty of nights where nothing happens, and that's just what you have to expect. And the more you investigate, the more you realize that. But any of these ghost hunting paranormal shows, it's a compilation of this, activity that we've gotten through a month's span or whatnot. But
yeah.
right.
there is nights
Sure.
where nothing happens, and that's what makes you know that it's real and what adds the tension.
I
and
agree.
excitement.
Yeah.
This
I
is
agree.
I'm going to show behind. This is what they do. This is the monitor that they sit in front of. Everything that all the cameras in the place come across here, and that's what I showed with Jennie before with this.
There I am.
Look
You
how
spying on
clear
me.
that
Oh, look,
monitor.
we have a timestamp. Look, there's a timestamp for my EVP.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, right.
Okay.
That's
But
where
it
that's
was-
see, it was the two of us
That
down
footage
there.
is long
Everybody
gone,
left.
Yeah,
There's Landon.
unfortunately. Yeah, there's Landon.
but the whole thing is
Oh yeah,
Um,
Landon.
the clarity on those cameras. That's what I brought that up for, because they're so clear.
Right.
Mhm.
We're gonna
Yeah.
catch amazing stuff on this.
And
system.
here's me go, hey,
Forget
In
about
his
it.
glory.
hey, I'm behind the cameras. Look at this.
So happy. You have no idea.
Are
Trust
you
me.
kidding me? This is one of my best pictures. Look at this.
My haunted man.
Yeah,
it's-
exactly. That's scary.
That was like, I mean, I had such a great time. That Jeff, I think you were having a baby that then. Or?
Yeah, I was having a baby
Yes,
that day. I wanted to be there.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
They
it.
forget about it. Hey,
How about go? Yeah.
I know, we all do that.
hey.
That's funny. I know he was like texting me, I'm watching you. I'm like, that's just creepy.
Stop picking your nose.
See? But I didn't look
Those,
at my
like,
phone. I'm so proud
Those
of myself.
monthly main events where we have the special guests come and it's like the big filming nights, the full team's there. Those are great nights to like come and get kind of a sense of what the place is.
Yes.
You could definitely catch things those nights, but your better odds are booking a private, getting your whole team in and booking a Friday or Saturday night and having the whole place to yourself. There'd be one of us there or one of our team there to monitor. But it's your investigation the way you want to investigate. We can tell you history and hot spots and things that we're following up on the show, but it's really the best audio you're gonna get is
Right.
And we're
Right.
super flexible. Like if you are newer and you want kind of some help with investigating, we can do that. If you want just the place to yourself and do your thing, we're happy to let you do that as well.
Yeah.
And
we had a guest book the place for just her. She just one person.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that. I mean,
We're
if you're
super-
brave
You know,
enough,
just me and Anthony there.
Yeah.
she went down the
We're
basement.
pretty-
She was all over the place. It's like brave.
Compared to other places, for this type of thing, we're pretty affordable as well. There's 3 different tiers. So for up to 5 people, you can book the whole place to yourself for $400. For 6 to 10 people, it's $700, and then for 11 to 15, it's $900. So you can split that amongst whoever. The more people you get, the more
not bad
kind of
at all.
affordable. But
That's not. And
Not bad. And that's
that's
for overnight.
so fair.
that's for
Saturday.
full overnight
Yeah.
private. The whole place is you and whoever you bring.
That's
Like Jeff said,
amazing.
you could come by yourself, and then we also
Yeah,
have the monthly events that you can find on our website, myhauntedmanor.com.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely put everything in our links and everything.
Yeah,
you got cameras there all the time, so you must see some weird stuff. Anybody like trying to take their girlfriend in the basement and stuff like that.
Only you, Anthony.
That's another film. That's another like, hey, cut. Okay, that's the other show.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's on our OnlyFans.
Well,
yeah, there you go.
I'm not going to say the place right now, but it's in Rhode Island. I think you know the place I'm talking about. It's going through a lot of stuff right now.
Okay.
But when we went there, the last time we went there, we had to say a waiver, and it was like 15 different things. And one thing was on the thing, no sex on the beds.
Really?
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Which means someone did it.
That's where you drew the line.
Somebody did it.
You mean not me? It wasn't me.
Well,
I'm like, but
you were bummed about the rule.
To get that rule, I'm like, and they had cameras all over the place too. So somebody must have been watching.
Oh man,
that's funny. That's so sad.
Someone commented, yes, we do have internet. We have internet. We have two different bathrooms, AC and heating.
Yeah, which is like a godsend for a paranormal investigator, right? Like a bathroom. Oh, thank God!
Yeah,
amazing.
I used the one when I slept over. I used one bathroom. I went in there, and next day I got up. It was like washed my face and my pits and everything else, and it's okay. I'm ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I stayed until about 4:30.
You turned the light on, then and you found out it was the toilet.
Yeah, it was like. Oh man, I thought it was a bird bath. So I took pictures. These are the two rooms. This is the room. This is where I heard the footsteps.
That's the parlor.
Okay. A lot of footsteps.
I'm laying in my cot taking these pictures.
Yeah.
I heard footsteps. They were going. First, it sounded like they were going from left to right. I got the other picture here with the.
See me tiptoeing around while everyone's sleeping.
Well, like that's.
You see that door there? It sounded like it was coming from that door to the table, and then going back.
Yeah.
Going to here, and then going back.
We've had that door open up with a whole room of guests sitting there.
Yep.
Yep.
And the other door, the door to the stairwell, is open and closes by itself.
Always.
And that just sounded like it didn't open, but at nighttime it did sound like it opened.
Yeah, or a jiggle of the handle.
Yeah.
And this is the staircase. So I took the picture going up the staircase.
That's really cool, you guys. Yeah. The whole place has such a great vibe.
Yeah, the place,
it really does.
It's very magnetic. It draws you back.
Yes.
You guys make everybody feel comfortable there too.
Yeah, you do.
Appreciate that. We try our best.
Everybody's welcome. That's
and you guys make everybody feel comfortable. Like come on in. You got so much here.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. And you're all, everybody's equal. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's contributing. Like that's a great vibe too.
Yeah.
My haunted
doesn't
family.
matter your skill level on paranormal.
Right.
Doesn't matter your skill level.
It doesn't matter.
Somebody's been doing it forever. It's it's very comfortable, and you make it very inviting to people.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get very far with ego, right? Like, I mean, as soon as you throw that ego out, that's when you're going to make progress with research.
Right.
Exactly. Right. Like, and I'm all about research.
We don't take ourselves too seriously, too. The history and
oh my God, you have to have fun.
Serious, but we have fun.
Like I said, you make me laugh with that scared friend thing. I was literally like laughing watching that. My husband's like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, "That's like the funniest quote ever." Scared friend.
Love a scared friend.
That's good.
That's the best part about it.
That was very funny. That's my favorite quote.
Too, you got a lot of people that we do get along, and you get the negativity. Of course, you're always gonna have that somewhere, but we got so many people that do get along and want to share. Like you guys want to share,
right?
Whatever you get,
we do.
And you want to support. You know, like you want to support.
You gotta be in it for the right reasons.
You want to support.
Right.
Frank and Anthony.
There's definitely been some teams that we had to ask not to come back. Just aren't in it for the right reason, just very disrespectful. We won't play around. We just won't have it.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't be disrespecting our staff or
Nope.
it's not something you can do and come back.
Yeah.
No, of course not. No.
Yeah.
Before we run out of time, I have a question about the Underground Railroad. Like, what type of activity do you get I mean, I don't want to ruin, the episodes for people who haven't seen it yet, but, generally, what do you get revolving around that? I know about Frankie's experience, but we're not going to talk about that because people need to watch that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, just that whole, that tunnel entrance, we get a lot of K2 and different EMF type hits. We were down there this past event and someone had set up a cat wall over there and we were hearing what sounded like movement from the other side of the basement where that was. And the cat wall would go off and it was insane looking, wasn't it, Jeff? From
it was cool. Yeah. I don't usually get excited about cat walls, but this one was,
it was pretty cool. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of different equipment right by that. That's where this apparition that we call it, our best piece of visual evidence on video, was coming out of there. So
that whole corridor, shadow figures.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of residual energy coming and going from that tunnel. But like I said, I think there's a lot of intelligence that's traveling through Colombia, utilizing this Underground Railroad system. And we've recently found out that these tunnels might have been used for other things for the town other than just, for, escaping freedom seekers, slavery. We think there could have been maybe some dark stuff that happened in these tunnels, some shady kind of stuff. So
really,
yeah,
not like bootleg stuff, like murder stuff.
Maybe, possibly, you know what I mean? It's something that we're looking into, but we have reason to believe that other things were happening, other routes, reasons of traveling through these tunnels. Yeah.
And we have, we're finding more about the history about Colombia and how in the later days, they probably weren't using the tunnels as much, because everybody in Colombia, was kind of in on this. Colombia was a huge hub for this, and freedom seekers were coming there and, taking jobs and living there. And, so, maybe earliest days that, the tunnels definitely were necessary, but, by, a decade later, Colombia could have just been a full, just free city, kind of a mecca, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm envisioning like
everybody was an abolitionist.
Shepherdstown for Colombia,
like
doing different buildings in Colombia, like in the future.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. 100%. We try to hit as many places as we can. And
I'm loving that.
Outside the manor, and show you some of the.
I think that would be cool, and tie it all together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We did the chip factory, which is going to be this hotel that we were speaking about earlier. Before they
now I got to stay there.
You got to stay there. Old chip factory hotel.
The market house we want to get back to. Mount Bethel Cemetery. There's a caretaker house there. They want us to come there and possibly investigate at some point.
A lot of activity there.
Different places. And the Underground Railroad Museum is coming soon. They're building a museum in town that's going to tell you all about what these tunnels were used for. And
so maybe that'll help confirm some things, whatever we find in there.
That's cool. Okay, I did not know that. Museum. Wow. Yeah, see, pretty cool.
We love Colombia. Yeah, Colombia is just
amazing.
It's just a great community, and we just want to bring as many people to come experience it, as we can.
Yeah. I mean, the whole burning of the thing.
I went to the diner there. It was a good diner. That was good.
Even the diners are haunted. It's like everything's haunted.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why there's so much haunting in this one little town?
The town historian, there's just been a lot of death in that town. It got hit by a wave of cholera, very early days, and it was a kind of a melting pot. Like with the railroad being so prevalent there, so many different immigrants were coming through there and just bringing different diseases, and just really there was just plagues wiped out. A lot of children, could account for some of the children that we hear throughout the manor. But it's just, got a dark history with, the Underground Railroad and burning of the bridge and Civil War. So close. It's, only an hour from Gettysburg. It's got a dark history, a lot going on. And then it's just the whole town is.
Yeah. It's all energy, and there's a lot of energy there, and a lot of past energy and traumatic events with the trolley accident. And now potentially
the trolley.
The accident.
Yeah, so the legend is that there was 3 witches that lived on top of Chickies Rock, this large cliff of quartzite rock and limestone, and the town wanted to put these trolley tracks in an amusement park. It was like the Depression. A lot of towns were using this kind of to boost morale and get people spend time up into the parks, and so they wanted everyone off the rock, and these 3 sisters held out. They basically forfeited their land and kicked them out, and supposedly they had the 6th and 7th books of Moses and used that to basically cast plagues and curses on the town,
Right.
Before they were driven out, and the legend says they jumped off the cliff, and since then like in the double digits, people have jumped or fell off that cliff. But in the late 1800s, there was a huge, they built the trolley tracks, they had the amusement park, and at 10:30 at night, the last trolley of the night comes leaving the amusement park in a storm, and there's a just mound of potato bugs that create just a slippery track, and they hit that and they derail. It kills the mayor of Columbia and 6 people and injures 67 people. There were 80 people in this thing.
Wow.
It was just over crowded. But it's a crazy story, and people in the town attribute it to this curse, this witch's curse of Chickies Rock.
And if you heard, Jeff said right around 10:30,
and
10:30. That's like I said, a big time, of activity spiking. And the burning of the bridge took place from, I believe, 6 p.m. to about 12 a.m. Or what was it, 2 a.m. or something like that. But I remember the heart of it was 10:30 at night.
Wow.
Burning of the bridge. Yep.
Wow.
So that's 2 super traumatic events in town, in history, and maybe that has ties to the activity and why it's so active around that time at the manor.
Maybe you don't even know yet.
Right. Yeah. It could have been something before.
That's the best part. There's no end to this. There's literally no end to this.
Right.
When I notice when I go to certain locations at certain times, there's more activity at in those locations than other times of day. So
Sure.
I mean, it could be just something like that too.
Yeah.
Whatever happened that time, like you said, it might have something to do with the timeline of the bridge and everything else, and maybe that timeline goes even further back, that before it was even written down in history or somewhere.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all just pieces of the puzzle that we're trying to put together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it might not ever, the picture. It's so hard to put together, but that's what we're trying to do.
That's okay though. I
Well,
think
you said you
it's the search. That's so great. Do you do investigations during the day besides you guys? I mean, do you ever host them during the day? Investigations?
We did a junior academy, like a para kids workshop with kids, and we'd investigate during the day. And I mean, we definitely had activity, and they're there 24/7.
Of course.
It's
I'm a big outdoor and daytime investigator. I I think people don't think of that. Like it's good.
100%. Yep. So if you can find like a day tour of a place, it might not be like an overnight investigation, but it's still an investigation. It's still
and
exactly.
in the day.
Like I said, we're super flexible. Like if someone wanted to come in earlier, for a private tour and get the place open at 2:00, on a Saturday, we could make that happen. So you can investigate during the day.
Right.
See, that would be Anthony. That would be cool.
Go during the day. I got to get out there. It's 4 hours on the ride for me. Get out there.
Bring a couple cannolis.
Yeah.
We'll open it up for you.
Hold it in front of him. No, you guys don't know this.
Grading. Hey, it might be worth it. Okay.
Yeah, no, it'll be worth it.
Cannolis, some espresso. We'll have a
Somebody said this in the comments.
I wouldn't mind coming out there one time and sitting behind a monitor with you guys.
Oh my God,
man.
you would
love it.
I wouldn't mind that. You know,
I don't think he'll get rid of him though. He will just plant himself there,
I'll be
and he'll
busy
be like, "This is everything I ever wanted."
sitting there
right now.
having a coffee and cannoli.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on in that corner? Hey. Is that
I walk
some
in,
kind of-
Anthony's asleep.
He loves the cameras. He loves watching the cameras. You guys, at the Ritz, he spent like 3 hours watching the door through his camera, literally like this.
Yeah, I did.
Watching one door for like 3 hours. We laughed so hard.
My haunted theater sounds good.
Yeah,
my haunted theater sounds pretty good to me. Let's talk to the Ritz. Let's get
some
some cameras set up in there.
Yeah, some cameras.
Exactly.
I mean, of course, somebody told me the doorknob moves.
Yeah, so he was like 3
camera
hours
on that
later.
doorknob, and I watch it. 4 hours. Hey.
Good for you with the
That's
patience.
commitment, man. Yeah, it takes patience, and it's not for everybody. You know, that level of patience is insane. But
I can't sit still.
I know it's so hard.
This is my limit. You guys, thank you so much, really, for like making all this time for us. Like we want to make sure we have time to give everybody info, and I'm going to put it all on our website. We have our website, our Facebook site, our social media sites. So the next event, when's your next event? It's the 9th or sooner?
July.
Dustin.
Yep. That's Dustin Perry and Chris Williams, two former ghost hunters. They're now known as Rebellious Spirits.
That's the 19th?
July 19th, yep.
But we still have open dates, you know, if you want to book a private in July or August, we still have dates, you know, open. So just go to the website. You can grab a Friday night and snag it with your team.
Yeah. Just email myhauntedmanor@gmail.com. Set up a private.
Deb's 86. We're going to be at Gettysburg. We're expecting cookies. I don't forget snacks.
Cookies.
Yeah, we'll be there, Debbie. Jeff and I are now going to the bash, so
yeah, we'll be there.
I love it. Yeah,
August
we'll be
9th is the other main event with the Parasite, and we can't wait to have you guys. And we're really intrigued by Megs, and we're really intrigued by
spirit therapy and
the spirit therapy. So good.
Cool. Those guys are awesome.
This is that kind of, you know, smart people outside the box experiments, and you know, you don't want to miss it, because who knows what's gonna happen that night.
Yeah, definitely. And we're gonna put all that on it.
The only other date I know we have locked in is November 1st. We're gonna be doing our second annual Halloween party. It's the day after Halloween. It's a Saturday, so you want to throw that in your calendar. It's not on the website yet, but we're putting that up, and we're gonna have some more dates for fall. You know, September through November. Here soon.
That's right, because Halloween's a Friday night.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be at the Hoover House. And
we have the Hoover House that night.
The first annual. It's called the Parajam in Gettysburg. It's going to be at the orphanage.
Oh wow!
And they're going to have you know, the paranormal stuff. They're also going to have bands showing up. So it's called the Parajam.
Damn.
So it's going to be paranormal and music.
That sounds like fun.
Doesn't it?
Party.
Yeah.
Sounds like too much fun to miss.
Now we want, you know, we really want DSGI to be there. They've been huge help with us, and they do all the folk tours in October. So we, you know, November 1st, they're able to come and be there and be part of it.
Exactly. Is that a costume party?
Costume contest, and then, you know, we all investigate in costume, and it's a blast.
That's the kind of stuff you got to do. Yeah, exactly.
It's a good time.
Jeff and I dressed up as Daryl last year. We had big beards.
That's funny.
The Daryls running around.
Yeah. I said I might be rowdy this year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You guys are going to have fun at the bash. You're going to love it. I'm the same as you guys. Jeff, I had only started going to a Paracon last year after all these years. My first one was White Hill Mansion. Yeah. So
they are fun.
Anthony's been dragging me to them. So I'm starting to.
I've been doing the Gettysburg one for years. You know, so I've been doing that.
Yeah, trust me. When we go, everybody's like, Anthony, hey, forget about it. What's up, Mr. Forget About It?
The bash
like,
can get a little crazy.
Doing?
The bash is a good time.
But people bring me cannolis. That's the best part.
He's a celebrity, I'm telling you.
It's okay.
I know.
Oh, you had triplets of Daryl? Oh, that's funny. That's very funny.
Love you, Debbie.
Yes, Debbie.
Yeah, we have amazing fans. You know, and people interact with us on Facebook and on YouTube, and just the fan interaction is the best part for me. You know,
life is good.
It is good.
Yeah, when people enjoy what you do and help, you know.
Right.
So,
and then seeing them come in and they're, you know, talking about episodes, and it's just really cool just to have that community.
Makes it all worth it.
It does make it worth it.
Yeah. I agree. Why else you couldn't do it if you didn't have that love, you know, if you didn't have that fun, if you didn't have, I agree totally. Right.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun tonight.
I hate to cut this short, but we are at the 2 hour
mark.
No,
it's 2 hours. That like went so fast.
Yeah, it does. It goes by fast.
It goes past every time. But
you have to have us back. Definitely, we'd love it.
Definitely want you back. Definitely want.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon.
Well, we're gonna see Gettysburg, so we're gonna have a cigar and a beer.
I'm there.
So, I want to thank everybody in the audience for showing tonight. We had a great,
thank you, everybody.
Great people in the audience. They had,
always,
good questions and everything. And I want to thank you guys for being here and sharing all those stories. Those are awesome. I mean, I want to get back to. I'm definitely going to be back there to the Haunted Manor.
I'm going to make sure he is.
Yeah, we'll be back. Definitely be back. I just want to thank everybody for showing. I just want to let everybody know that you got to be safe out there. If you want to look for ghosts, you don't want to be a ghost. Forget about it. Ciao, familia. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing?